Alright, so we're on circuit 4. Again, you're going to want that Desmos calculator ready to go. So make sure that you have that pulled up because we're going to be going back and forth. Today we're going to be multiplying and dividing rational numbers. So we're going to multiply and divide fractions and multiply and divide decimals. So Nura ate half of the 8 donuts. So half is a fraction, 1/2. So what is half of 8? So half of 8 would mean 1/2 times 8. If I think of half of 8, that would be 4. Another way we could have thought about that is 8 divided by 2. So multiplying by a half and dividing by 2 results in the same thing. Okay, next one says Mr. Tyson drank 1/4 of the coffee pot. So that word of means to multiply. 1/4 of, so times. The coffee pot holds 24 cups, so times 24. So when the top number is 1, another way we could do that is just by dividing. So 24 divided by 4 would be 6. So 1/4 of 24 is 6. So 6 cups. This one we probably should have labeled 4 donuts. I would love to eat 4 donuts right now. That sounds so good. Alright, number 1, I have 1/4 times 5 ninths. So we're going to use our calculator. 1/4 times 5 ninths. So use this 1/4 times 5 ninths. Okay, and I get a decimal, but because I have fractions, I want my answer to be a fraction. So I'm going to hit that fraction button, and I get 5/36. Okay, so we want our answer to be a fraction because we have fraction in the problem. It's just fractions. Okay, problem number 2. I have 3 2/6 times 4 ninths. 2/6 isn't simplified, but that's okay. Again, we're going to want our answer to be a mixed number this time, I think. We'll see. Either a mixed number or a fraction. So 3 2/6. I'm just going to enter, that way we're just typing down here. 3, and then we need a space, 2/6 times, and then I forgot what the other one is, 4 ninths. 4 ninths. Okay, again we get a decimal, so I'm making it a fraction. 40 27ths. Whoops. Sorry, went to my desktop. So 40/27. But we want it to be a mixed number. So we're going to divide the numerator, the top, by the denominator, which means the bottom. So I'm going to do 40 divided by 27. Okay, and it goes in there one time. And I know that because when I went to that calculator, when I had it as a decimal, my whole number there was 1. Okay, so it goes in one time. Now I subtract 40 minus 27. Okay, if you'd like to use your calculator to do that, please do. So 40 minus 27. I'm just using my keyboard to do that. It's 13. So we get 13 left over. So our answer would be 1 and 13 is our remainder over our denominator, which is 27. So 1 and 13 27ths. Have a good day, Miss Badger. Okay, next page. We have 4 more problems, which seems like a lot, but we're going to be using our calculator, so let's go real quick. Okay, so again, I have 2/3 divided by -8/13, and we want our answer to be a fraction because we have fraction, only fractions. If it's only fractions, our answer should be a fraction. Okay, so we're going to use our calculator. 2/3 divided by -8/13. 2/3 divided by -8/13. Now this is going to look goofy, but it's going to put one fraction on top, and that's one fraction on the bottom, down here. And that line means to divide. So that's okay that it looks that way. We get -13/12. And again, the numerator is bigger than the denominator, so we're going to make it into a mixed number. So we're going to do 13 divided by 12. 12 goes into 13 one time. 1 times 12 is 12. And I get 1 left over. What's really important to remember is that this was originally negative, so it's going to be negative 1, and then 1 is left over, so 1 over my denominator, which is 12. All right, number 4. So these are decimals, so we want our answer to be a decimal. We can just use this plugging it into decimals. So negative 7 3/10. Negative 7 3/10 times 39 47/100. 39 47/100. It's going to be negative 288 and 131 10,000ths. Nope, just thousandths. So 280, negative 288, and was it 131? Yep, 131 thousandths. Okay, number 5. Again, we have decimals here, so my answer is going to be a decimal. Okay, and we're dividing this time, so make sure we're doing the division sign. So negative 9 3/10 divided by, is it negative or positive? Negative 0 5/10. Whoops, that's not where we wanted it. We wanted that on the bottom. Negative 0 5/10. And we get 18 6/10. And we just want it as a decimal, so I don't need to hit that fraction button. 18 6/10. Done. Okay. All right, next one, evaluate the expression. So we have a fraction and a decimal. If I have a fraction and a decimal, I'm going to want my answer to still be a decimal. What's really important though is that if we're using our calculator, be sure that all of 2 6/7 is being divided. We might need to use parentheses. So when I do this, 2 6/7, 2 space 6/7. Okay, now if I use that dividing by, I can do, oops, divided by, oh, that doesn't work. Divided by, it does just the 6/7. I want that 2 to be on top as well. So instead what we're going to do is put this in parentheses. So I can put in that parenthesis there, parenthesis there. Remember, you can just click around. You don't have to delete everything. Divided by, and then what was the decimal? Negative 9 2/10. And 2/10. Okay, and we get this super long number. So we're going to round it just to negative 0 31/100. Okay, so always be smarter than your calculator. That's like what this part is right here. Make sure that you're knowing, understanding how to do that. Okay, and how do we make a mixed number from an improper fraction? So we're going to do the numerator divided by the denominator. You can also use the words like top divided by the bottom. Okay, so that's how we do that. We divide, and then we're going to subtract to get a number, and then that number will go over that bottom. All right, and that's it.